All right, I think we're gonna get started. Oh, you guys know what to do. Applause, lead with the applause. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out to the Central Library today. I'm Kevin Alcuni, a librarian here in the Exploration and Creativity Department with the Los Angeles Public Library.
Buenvenidos. Hello, I am Diana Olivo-Posner, and I am the Principal Librarian, Associate Director of the Exploration and Creativity Department, here to welcome you to today's LMAID program, A Great Day in East LA. Woo!
Before we begin, we'd like to take a moment to thank our behind-the-scenes staff for helping bring the LMAID programs to you. LMAID focuses on the diverse landscape of Los Angeles, highlighting the immense artistic and performance talent that has developed in the course of the city's eclectic history. If you'd like to see more of our amazing programs, please visit our online calendar at lapl.org/events. And for our LMAID programs, visit lapl.org/LMAID. We'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize and acknowledge the first people of this land, honor their elders past and present, as well as their descendants who are citizens of these nations. For more information on which territory you may reside on, check out native-land.ca.
And just a couple of our other housekeeping tips before we begin. Please silence your electronic devices, I just did that, so as to not distract our amazing speakers this afternoon. And also, please take a moment to note the location of exits at the back where you entered and on the sides of the auditorium, just in case of an emergency. If you parked in the garage, which is underneath the library today, you can get your parking ticket validated at the information desk in the main lobby at the parking, and the parking will only be $1 as long as you parked after 1 o'clock p.m. and leave before 5 p.m., 1 to 5.
Yes.
And all you have to do is show your library card, like this one right here we have in front. Yours will probably be smaller.
Tiny.
And they will make sure you get validated at that information desk. Please, no eating or drinking in the auditorium, unless, of course, it is water. Bathrooms are down the hallway to your right as you entered.
Yep. And now for today's amazing program, LMAID and La Plaza presents A Great Day in East LA, making music and history in a time of chaos. Join moderator Rubén Martínez for a special conversation on the history, culture, and legacy of the East Side Sound, featuring creator of A Great Day in East LA, Piero F Giunti, David Hidalgo of Los Lobos, Uli Bella of Ozomatli, Bertha Oropeza of Chico, and Yolanda Ferrer of Fatima Records. Drawing from decades of lived experience in music, community organizing, independent art, and cultural preservation, our panelists will discuss how East Los Angeles became a creative force that helped shape Chicano rock, punk, funk, soul, and alternative music scenes far beyond the city itself. The conversation will also examine how musicians, artists, and cultural workers preserved community histories and built spaces of resistance, creativity, and identity during periods of political upheaval, displacement, and social change. The discussion is inspired by A Great Day in East LA, the groundbreaking oral history and portrait created by Piero that documents generations of East LA musicians and cultural architects. Through personal stories, photographs, music history, and conversation, the event celebrates the communities and artists whose voices continue to define the cultural landscape of Los Angeles. Following the talk, there will be a special performance by Very Be Careful. And now please welcome our guests, Piero, David, Uli, Bertha, Yolanda, and Rubén.
So how'd you feel about that penalty, right?
Buenas tardes. How is everybody? Okay, I know you're all going for Argentina. Everybody here, right? Oh, I was mistaken. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I'm sure, you guys will let us know when somebody scores. So I'm Rubén Martínez. I get the great pleasure and honor of being the moderator, asking a few questions of these wonderful artists who are here with us today. We are here in this conversation celebrating a great day in East LA, which is an exhibit, and it's more than an exhibit, it's a project. We're going to call it a project because there's more than one thing that's going on with this. A great day in East LA is at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes as an exhibit right now. How many people have checked out the show? Many of you. That's fantastic.
Liars.
And we need to be going downtown we need to be going to Alvera Street. Why do we need to be going to Alvera Street these days? Because nobody's going, and it's dying. Cielito Lindo closed down for like a month. La Golondrina closed down. This is like historic Mexican and Mexican-American Los Angeles. You know, the pandemic hit it hard, right? The puestos on Alvera Street, nobody's visiting them. La Plaza de Cultura y Artes is hosting this show. Tell your friends to go down, you know, and get taquitos a Cielito Lindo and go see the show at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. So, a great day in East LA. We have here. I'm going to introduce everybody in turn. But why don't I do that first? Let's go ahead and introduce everybody, and then we'll get into the conversation. To my immediate left is Piero Giunti. Yes, give it up. Woo. Born and raised in LA to a Mexican mother and Italian father, so you've got to be going for Argentina.
Nope.
His multicultural.
Let me just say this. I grew up around a lot of Argentinians. No one in my family is Argentinian. I lived in Argentina when I was 8 years old for like 1 year. Which is the funny part is if you hear me speak Spanish now,
you sound like an Argentinian.
It's like I went there sounding like Chicano and I came back with the Argentinian. So like I tell people that understand Spanish and understand the Argentinian slang, que what is it? Se me fue lo che, because you know like che, you know. So se me fue lo che, pero se me quedó lo boludo. So.
Very good. Well, with that disclaimer.
Sorry, I had to say that joke.
Having that multicultural upbringing has deeply influenced you. You are a filmmaker, you are a photographer, you're a curator of this exhibit. It began, you'll tell us the origin story in a second, of the exhibit, A Great Day in East LA. You are also a renowned photographer. You've been working since you were very young, shooting musical acts, everybody from Public Enemy to Zac de la Rocha to Ice Cube, Los Tigres del Norte. The photographs I know of yours are mostly black and white. I'm sure you've worked in color too, but the photographs that you can see up there, they're all black and white, and great black and white portraiture that you do. You're also the co-director of Los Lobos Native Sons, the documentary, which just recently premiered. At the Egyptian. Was anybody there that night? You guys are the hardcore fans here. Yes, that was a really special evening. Fantastic vibe, great documentary. Hope that it comes out soon. To Piero's left, we keep on going left, is Uli Bella. Ulises Bella. Founding member of the, I believe, 3 Grammy, right? 3 Grammys we've got. Grammy Award-winning band Ozomatli. Grew up in Southeast Los Angeles. Uli developed a passion for music at a young age and went to the LA High School of the Arts. A shout out to the LA High School of the Arts right over here. Subsequently, Uli spent some time in college playing in punk bands before joining Ozo. The band has toured the world and received those 3 Grammys that we mentioned. He considers himself a forever student, and it shows, being a multi-instrumentalist and also a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Little known fact there. Yeah. Random. To Uli's left is Yolanda Ferrer. Welcome. Yolanda Tapatia de Guadalajara is an iconic Chicana music promoter, cultural architect, and co-founder of the influential independent record label Fatima Records, with a Z.
Yes.
At the end. Alongside musician Tito La Riva, who many of you know and love and remember. And master Chicano printmaker Richard Duardo, she established the label Fatima Records in the LA punk scene in the late 1970s and early 1980s, and that's just like an essential part of what we talk about when we talk about the new LA music scene of that time. Fatima Records was right there in the mix. Operating under a fierce grassroots DIY ethos, Ferrer and her partners formed Fatima to provide a platform for their community's distinct creative expressions. Welcome, Yolanda. To Yolanda's left, and to Yolanda's left is Bertha Oropeza. Just small, she's got a modest bio. She's presents herself modestly online, but I just got to know a couple of little things about her career that just blew me away, which I'm going to share in a second. She's a lead and background vocalist. She's been with the band Chico since 1995, and for those of you who know your Chicano and Chicana music scene in Los Angeles, that band goes, she got there in 1995, which is 30 years ago, but the band goes back to the mid-1960s. So this is an essential part of LA Chicano music history that she is a part of. She's an accomplished vocalist and was a cast member of the film Zoot Suit. So that on its own is like fantastic, right? She's traveled around the United States in different musical groups over the years and has been featured on numerous recordings. As a matter of fact, in the show A Great Day in East LA, there's a wall of record album covers on the wall. And Piero was saying that when you guys were there, I'm on that one. And for those of you who know the documentary called 20 Feet from Stardom, a lot of the work that you've done is kind of like in the background, right? And in the old days, people didn't get credit for background vocals. But she was on an album called El Noa Noa by Juan Gabriel. Between that and the Zoot Suit credit, you don't need to have done anything else, but you've done so many more things. Welcome, Bertha. And last but not least, not like he needs much of an introduction, I think you all know and love him, David Hidalgo.
Hello.
Who is a founding member of the band, let's say it together, Los Lobos. Formed in 1973 with his compadres Luis Perez, Cesar Rosas, Frank Gonzalez, the late Frank Gonzalez, and Conrad Lozano. While they were high school students in East LA at Garfield. He is a vocalist, songwriter, and you'd say multi-instrumentalist. It's like multi-instrumentalist, right? Violin, accordion. It says here 6-string banjo. I know a 4-string banjo. I know a 5-string banjo. I didn't even know there was a 6-string banjo.
It's a cheater banjo. It's one for guitar players to play.
Got it. Cello, requinto, the jarana, percussion. I saw you sat in on drums at the Hard Rock Cafe, the Super 7. You sat in on drums. I think you just nobody was playing the kit.
Well, I've always liked drums. My older brother taught me drums when that was my first instrument coming up.
First instrument.
Yeah, and
amazing.
So when we did the album, it was between Max, Vaca, and myself. We did the drums, and so when we played live, we shared the duties.
Amazing. Yeah. So if you've never seen him play drums, he plays the drums too. And he has worked on stage or in the studio with acts like Dave Albin, of course, Buckwheat Zydeco, T-Bone Burnett, Ry Cooder, Elvis Costello. It goes on and on. John Lee Hooker, Ricky Lee Jones, Bonnie Raitt. I mean, he's been there, right? Welcome, David. All right. So, wonderful collection of people, and we're here, by and large, Piero, because you started this. Let's hear the story, the origin story.
Be careful where you say that, because those are fighting words in certain places. Go ahead.
Well, we do know, though, that the name of the exhibit and the project, A Great Day in East LA, is based on a very famous photograph by a guy named Art Kane, who took a photograph in Harlem in 1958, I believe, of the amazing jazz scene of that time in New York City. Count Basie, right, was in there. I mean,
Thelonious Monk, Sonny Rollins,
Mingus,
and everybody there.
everybody. And there's a famous photograph. Some of you might have seen it. They're on a stoop on a brownstone in Harlem.
Correct.
And it's called The Great Day in Harlem.
Yes, and some of the kids that are on the curb, like 2 or 3 of them, also became famous jazz musicians.
Amazing. So, as far as I understand it, it's like you saw that photograph and...
So that photograph came to me in a dream, and for 2 weeks straight, everywhere I would go, I would see that photograph if it was online, and it wasn't the anniversary of that photograph or anything. I would see it online, I would see it on the street, I would just everywhere. And on the last day of the second week, I was at downtown rehearsal where a bunch of bands rehearse, and I run into a musician friend of mine, and we're just catching up because I was there to shoot a band. And he says, "Hey man, do you know that photograph?" And I said, "Yes, it's called The Great Day in Harlem." And he's like, he was a little high, but he was like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "Dude, don't worry about it. Just leave me alone. Don't tell the other photographers I'm gonna do that." And he's like, "Yeah, but how'd you know?" Like, I was gonna say that. I'm like, "Dude, look, don't worry. I'll figure it out." I got home that day, and I was like, "All right, let me do my research." And so I just put the music of East LA, and the first website that comes up, and you're gonna have to stand, Mark, is at markguerrero.com. It's the encyclopedia to the music of East LA. So ladies and gentlemen, please rise for Mark Guerrero. Mark and the Escorts, Tango, who happens to be the son of Lalo Guerrero as well. So I see that website and I was like, okay, I work with a lot of musicians. They might all laugh right now, but musicians are great and they're weird. So I said, okay, I saw that there was a phone number, and so I was like, okay, let me try this. So I cold called them, and the whole time, because I just got off of working with this band that was just grumpy. And so I was like, just please, wait, there's kids here? There's no kids here, right? There's 1 or 2. You've heard these words. I'm like, please don't be an asshole. Please don't be an asshole. So he answers the phone. It was the coolest guy. I'm like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the idea that I have. But right before that, too, So I talked to him. He says, yeah, I'll help you with anything that you need. Perfect. I have, a legendary musician, and at the same time, I have the son of a legendary musician that says yes. An ex-girlfriend at the time was opening up for Los Lobos, and I just told, as soon as I saw that, I said, whatever you do, I'm going with you. I'll pay my way up. I don't care. And it was like an 8-hour drive to Willits, California, and I ended up going there, and I ended up meeting Caesar first. And Caesar's just looking at me like, oh, okay, cool. You should talk to Louis. And I'm like, okay. So I talked to Louis, and Louis is all like, dude, this is amazing. I'll help you with anything that you need. I'm like, great. My childhood heroes are telling me that, like, they'll help me. Boom. At that moment, there was no looking back.
And so the doors opened up, and you start snapping photographs.
Correct.
And out of this comes eventually the exhibit, which is filled with all kinds of the photographs are part of the exhibit.
Hold on, you're jumping.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for Mark and his vast Rolodex and career, Mark helped me get all the people from the 50s all the way to the early 80s, and I got the late 80s to today. So that was a huge. Even though this took 10 years, I don't think that if anyone else tried with just by word of mouth, it would have taken them 100 years. But so
right,
indebted to
yes,
Mark.
Definitely. And Mark is here with us tonight. His website, I believe it's just markguerrero.com. Is that correct? Mark's website is crammed full with articles that he has written, digging deep into our musical history. For those of you who have not seen the website, you wanna, it's like a master class in Mexican American Chicano music history. So the shout out is loud and clear.
And I have one more
Mark's
shout out that
contribution, and of course, Mark's in the lineage of Chicano music royalty through his dad, Lalo Guerrero. So. And
then there's one more shout out, which you're gonna have to stand to, John. If it wasn't for John Echevestes, former CEO of La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, John, please. There you go. John, being the broke artist that I still am, is that if it wasn't for John letting me use the museum as a studio, I would have never been able to do all the interviews. And he's like, yeah, just talk to our facilities person. I said, okay, what time do you need to be there, Piero? I'll be like, 9 a.m. to maybe 5. And they're like, oh, okay, great. I'd be there from 9 a.m. to like 2 in the morning. And the security would be like, you gotta go. I'm like, don't worry, talk to John. And the whole time just making excuses. But if it wasn't for John giving me that space, again, I would have, as a thank you, I would have never chose to go to La Plaza de Cultura y Artes to have this exhibition. So now you can talk about the exhibition.
Very good. So, let's get some voices in here because the exhibit is telling this multi-generational saga, right? That goes all the way back. And, we could go to any of you. There's the ages, are varying a little bit, but many of us here are in, our elder stage of life. And so we have a lot of historical memory here. I'll start with David. Yeah. David, when you were coming, what year did you graduate Garfield?
72.
72,
yeah.
Very good. So, when you're coming up, what is the soundtrack of your life at that time? And were you already aware that there was like something special going on, that what we refer to today as like an East Side thing?
Well, I'm not sure if it was recognized as an East Side, but there were. I mean, it started to be around that time, early '70s. They had the East Side Review and different albums that showcased East LA bands mostly, and so yeah, it's around that time is when it started to and that was around the walkouts and all that. So our own identity became really important. So I think we started to pay more attention to.
And was it already at that time? It was pretty obvious, right, that the East Side sound was a mix of styles.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the obvious thing is to say Richie Valens, okay, he's taking La Bamba and making it rock. But what other elements are starting to come together when you're growing up? What were you hearing?
Well, I think it was a lot of it was R&B. The East Side, we just identified with soul music, and it was like our version of it. It's. I was listening to Conan O'Brien with Mick Jagger on the way over here, and he says, "Yeah, we're not English. We didn't grow up in this tradition, but we loved it, so we did our own thing, and came up with something else." And I think that's what the East Side was. We loved. Billy Stewart and all of the Motown stacks and the old oldies but goodies, from the '50s, the doo-wop and all that. And it was, and I think Willie G had a lot to do with it. His record collection is amazing, and it's all singles too, and he brought a lot of that music out and introduced it to people on the East Side who were already listening to KGFJ was the soul station back then on AM radio. So I think that's what it is.
That's fantastic. And we could go even further back, right? We can go back to the '40s.
Yeah.
And it's
Chico Sesma and
yes.
Raul Diaz.
Right. And there was always that kind of various influences coming together. Bertha, let me go to you for a question here also, because you're coming up also in a mix of style. You, as a background vocalist, you got to be able to do all kinds of styles, right? Over the decades in your work, yes. Right? How did you grow up among all these different styles? What was your way of coming into this sound?
The same. As I was growing up, I was listening to like Chaka Khan. I was listening to Sarah Vaughan. I mean, just the mixture of women and different styles. And of course, when we play, like Dave said, you take what you're doing and you kind of add to what everybody else is doing, and it comes out a little bit different, so it comes like you said, our style, East LA style. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's just a mixture of all the different influences that we had,
Yes.
you know, and definitely had to be able to sing it that way. You know, if you're going to sing Chaka, you had to sing Chaka. If you're going to sing Aretha, you got to sing Aretha. And the backgrounds, you know, again, you know, you listen and you can hear all the different harmonies and all the different styles, so you start grabbing that and you start incorporating into what you do. So it becomes a mixture of everything.
Yes, and without R&B, really, we don't have what we're calling the East Side sound, right? R&B is at the heart of it, and it's interesting to me because I think we all have deep LA connections here, right? Some of us go back generations, and when we talk about LA, we talk about, oh well, the African Americans are down over there in their neighborhood, and Chicanos are over here in the East Side, and you know, I mean, and to an extent that's been true, right? But not with music, right? We were crossing borders in music, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, music was like, once you picked it, it's just, it didn't matter who was singing it or who was playing it, or if you're a black, white, purple, whatever. It was the music itself, the style, that you grabbed that because you really loved it, you know, so you just wanted to do that. It didn't matter who was doing it.
And as a Mexican American Chicana, for you to be able to have participated in one of the biggest pop stars of Mexico of all time, Juan Gabriel, that's. Can you just tell us a little bit, just for my sake? If
He's not for me still.
Juan Gabriel fans here.
You know, sad
I'm
to
just like-
say, honestly, when I got the call to do Juan Gabriel, this is sad, I'm sorry, but I got the call to go do a recording with Juan Gabriel. And I thought, who's Juan Gabriel? I asked, it's sad, I had to go ask my mom. I go, Mom, who's Juan Gabriel? And she goes, Juan Gabriel? Mija, ¿vas a cantar con Juan Gabriel? I'm like, well, who is he? You know? And I felt like an idiot because after I was like, oh my gosh, he's like a big star, you know, and here I am coming in. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Am I wrong to say that he's our Liberace?
Yes.
I just wanted to
Our Frank
say
Sinatra.
quick, the R&B connection, it was,
Yeah.
I mean, it was everywhere. But I'm thinking about Mark, who's like, you know, his legacy is at the core of all the East Side.
Mark and the Escorts. Yeah.
It's like, you know, but his first record sounded more like folk rock, and it was different. He took it to a different direction, and he's one of the first guys I ever heard do that. So,
Yeah.
You're right on.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Stand up for us again, Mark. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah.
Told him I would embarrass him today. So
Very good. Did you have something? It seemed like you were going to say something else.
His dad, I think, has an absolutely big influence because, again, my mom loved his dad. And the music, and his dad to me was like a rebel writer, you know? Because the way he would write his music, which most other musicians at that time were not doing the stuff that his dad was doing. So it doesn't surprise me that he did his style because I think, obviously, we get our influences from our parents, you know?
Right.
That Latin swing, you know,
Yeah.
that was new too, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, right, going all the way back to your dad's generation, that mixing of styles is happening, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
Beautiful. Let's go to Yolanda and moving forward in time a bit to the 1980s, 70s, 80s, right, Yolanda?
Yes.
You come here from Guadalajara. You're a proud Mexican immigrant, right, to this country. And tell us how you come at a very important time in LA musical history. What now we call the new music scene. Something new was going to happen in LA. How did you connect? You got connected to a very famous printmaker named Richard Duardo, who people who know their Chicano art history, he's at the center of it. The late, great Richard Duardo. We lost him a few years back. Tell us how you got connected to that scene and what kind of energy you were feeling at that time, because something exploded in Los Angeles.
Yes, well, I have to go back to my childhood. You know, and at the house, we always listened to the opera and balls and all the classic music. Then was forbid for me to listen to the folkloric music. So I was more connected to the classic music. Then I married a rock star back in Mexico, Toncho Pilatos. And from there, he showed me a new world of music. So when I separated from here, I came in 1976, I believe, 74. I'm sorry, I don't remember that long. But I started going to the underground, the punk scene. You know, I started going to the Madame Wong, and then I saw Tiro La Riva, X7X, you know, the Germs. I think they all were the same cartel. To me, it was like explosion. You know, my mind went like a wild. I said, what is this? You know, you're coming from a different background from everybody here, listening to all this music, you know, very classic music. And suddenly, it's like I was thrown up in a very crazy world that I want to be part of it. So I remember the time that I was at the Madame Wong and Tito. I didn't know him at the time, and he came and asked me if I'd like to be part of the, to be recording a record, and if I'd like to do that. And I say, well, how much it's gonna be? And he goes, 25 cents per record. And it's gonna be made like a tortillas. And I say, okay. So he started looking for a pressing record company, and we find Albertis in Monterey Park, I believe. I'm sorry. And we started pressing in there, the first one, La Bamba, a 45. And I was part of the financial risking. But I was honored for me to be able to be asked, and from there everything came like a snowball. You know, the Pratt, the Pee Wee, the more plugs, albums, then being in music and movies and soundtracks, and well, everything started there. 1970, I believe we put out Bamba in 1977.
And this is another chapter of this big story that we're talking about. And so punk and new wave, several of the bands that you mentioned, like the Brat and Los Illegals and so many others, right, the Plugs, these are East Side bands, right? And there's a West Side scene happening too, but then there's starts to be kind of communication between East and West, and you guys, Los Lobos, you go play at the Whiskey, and some of the bands, you know, who are playing on the West Side start playing at El Vex.
We used to cross the river. That was what you used to say. Go, you know, let's play across the river. And but we were talking about Tito. You know, there was PIL, John Lydon, Johnny Rotten. You know, it was his first time to play in L.A. because the Sex Pistols they blew up before they got to the West Coast, so they never played at the West Coast. And so the Plugs were opening, and there was another band. I think it was 45 Grave. I think they were called. They dropped out. So, you know, we were still playing folk music. You know, we had the guitarrón and the requintos. And Tito, he says, hey, man, you guys want to open a show? And I said, yeah, I guess so, you know. So we'll get in front of some, you know, new people. It turns out it's like, I don't know how many punk rockers that wanted to get all their aggression out. But so they were, you know, they were spitting on us and throwing shit at us. And you know, like Louis got a big old gargajo on his chin. And you know, just, but then when they started throwing bottles, then that's when we left. But But when we got off the stage, you know, our families were like all hurt for it. We were like, fuck, that was cool, man. You know, it fired us up. So there's certain things that happen in life that take you to the next level, and that was one of them. And Tito was a big part of that. And he's probably laughing, you know, on the side, like, look at that. They let him have it, you know.
Yeah. Just one more quick question to Yolanda. The DIY thing,
Yes.
it was very much a part of this. You're kind of describing it with the way those first singles were produced.
Yeah, we
right?
did everything.
And that's because there was no other way to do it, right? I mean, this is by necessity.
Yes.
Nobody from no West Side, Capitol Records wasn't coming over to offering contracts, and so people like Richard Eduardo and others. I mean, you were designing the covers. People were everything, right? From beginning to end.
Gary Painter, he was a big painter now, and at that time he designed the Better Luck album. He also did 45 for La Bamba, and I think that's it. Richard Eduardo did the Brat, and Pee Wee was also designed by Gary Painter.
Pero Pee Wee quién?
Pee Wee Herman.
There you go. So you gotta. So I know you're not. So Pee Wee was signed to his first record deal was out of Fatima Records, right?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Thank you, Pedro. Yes, everything was like a marketing, the sleeves, the jacket, the signs, and everybody was so involved and so happy to be part of it. Exine write the letters for the Brat cover, for the jacket, and also lots of people was involved with us, and that was so fantastic. I appreciate all that.
It's great to think about that time, how painters, designers, even poets. I mean, there were shows at the Vex where there was spoken word, there was music, there was self-help graphics, the painter. All of these creative people are coming together. Fashion, exactly, right? ASCO, the art collective, right? So many people that had contact with them. So it's an amazing moment.
Yeah, it was so beautiful and so unbelievable. It was surreal.
Very good. Thank you, Yolanda.
Thank you.
Let's move. We're kind of moving forward in time. I didn't realize it was going to work out this way, but the baby here on stage, Uli, you're coming up in the 90s. Now we're moving. Now we've gotten from the 50s, 60s all the way to the 90s now. What was the soundtrack of your high school days as you're getting your musical chops started up? What were you hearing that was around at the time, or that came before you, that started sowing the seeds of what would become Ozomatli?
Well, I come from somewhat of a musical background. My dad played violin, and my mom just loved music. My dad is originally from Navarra, from northern Basque country, so a lot of flamenco music and classical music, where my mom was all about Juan Gabriel, Trio Los Panchos, and she loved like the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and all this stuff. So I grew up with a lot of different music. So early on, by elementary school, I already had my own little record collection. Oh yeah, the Kiss record, Devo, and all these things. Where I was really young, but I was already into music. Now, I think the one thing that I think I might have in common with a lot of people my generation and in the band is that a lot of us got bused. We did either magnet programs or were shipped out of our neighborhoods to go to different schools. So by already the 6th grade, I was catching a bus in City of Bell, 5 o'clock, to go all the way to the west side to go to school. And what happened is that my bus cut through all these neighborhoods. So we're going through South Central, picking up kids at Jefferson High, going through K-Town, going through all these places. And at that time, obviously hip hop was a really big thing. And through, you know, studying music and things like that, classical being kind of like the foundation. By junior high, I started picking up saxophone. So obviously the next logical step is jazz, and LA has an amazing jazz tradition. Dexter Gordon, you know, and all the whole Central Avenue and all those people. And from there, I went to the High School for the Arts, and that was already then a really super eclectic environment for a musician, because there was people from all around, different cultural backgrounds, different economic backgrounds, and getting exposed to all kinds of music. After high school, I ended up going to PCC, and that's where I met a lot of the cats, Walter, and I was in a band with my man over here, Fredo, Yeska. We were in that band. And who's the drummer now for Los Lobos? It's crazy how and he was in a punk band with Louis' kid. So it's crazy how all these things go in a circle. And another, you know, since I'm gonna do one of these, we wouldn't be here without him. Of course, Carmelo right here in the front. He founded the Radiotron and was a part of this group, LA Conservation Corps, where our founding member Will Dog and Anton were a part of. And they were the first ones to kind of call each other, hey, you wanna, because at the time it was a Peace and Justice Center, hey, you wanna come through and play for this really cool space and support it. And everybody who showed up ended up kind of being an Ozomatli. So one of the quotes that I always said was like, driving through Sunset and all the different music that's coming out of different people's cars, is that cacophony in the middle of it all is kind of what the foundation of Ozo, like the hip hop, the cumbia, the reggae, the everything that LA has. And it kind of set us up in a way that obviously, I think growing up as a music student, I already had mad respect to everybody who had done it before me. So Los Lobos, I mean, obviously, like there were huge bands like cats like Santana, War, Mandrill, all these bands that kind of did the same similar thing that we did, but we have a special recipe. So bands that kind of like took all these different influences and traditions and mixed them up together. And so in my head, I always felt like we were just part of that lineage. You know, Fishbone, another huge band for us, and so it was part of like of a tradition.
Fantastic. Yes. So this is bringing us, you know, basically, you know, to from the '90s to the present, and the hallmark of all this is, you know, crossing. I just love the image of you on the bus crossing town, right, and the soundtrack of the city soaking it up as you. And remember, you know, this is a city that had sundown towns all over. The Beach Boys, you know, were in a sundown town.
Hawthorne.
Right. Yes, exactly. And so, but we were able to cross borders in spite of the redlining, in spite of the segregation, and we did it in the arts and culture, right? We also have done it politically. And we can start with Piero and maybe go back the other way, because this is a question for everybody. The element that we haven't talked about yet is the politics, because the music all the way back to the 60s was in some ways reflecting what was going on politically in our communities, right? And there were direct connections at times, right, with what's going on in the Chicano movement originally, all the way through the 90s, and you guys were around the time, more or less, of Prop 187, right?
And the big thing, too, in mid-90s for us was, there was two things. Post-riots,
right?
Everything that had gone down with Rodney King, and also the Zapatista movement. Because the name of the band, right before it was called Ozomatli, was Todos Somos Marcos. So that's how we first started. And then Anton was the one who's like, hey man, let's call it Ozomatli instead. It's the god of dance. And I was like, little did we know it was his astrological symbol. So he was kind of like, I'm gonna name my band Pisces. You know, like it was Anton. But yeah, but those were two big things, I think. The riots and the Zapatista movement.
Well, we're holding this event in the midst of a time that is as tough painful, traumatic for our community as any other moment in our community's history, right? We're suffering a grave injustice. And I don't want to let the conversation go without making the connection to the realities that we face and how they're reflected in the music. Piero, how do you feel the Great Day in East LA gets into conversation with where we're at as a community today and the political reality we face?
If it wasn't for bands, like Zach de la Rocha is in this project. One of the first, the way I met Ozomatli was at the anti-war protests when I was in high school. I became political the summer of 2000, so that I was going into 10th grade, and I begged my parents to please take me to the DNC protests. And they're like, no, you're crazy. And I said, please, 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 because Rage Against the Machine's playing, Ozomatli's playing. And they're like, all right, let me think about it. And my parents were watching the news, and my dad admitted to me years later, he's like, we were this close to getting in the car and going until the cops, which, again, it's all thanks to Ozomatli that you prompted the riots and all that stuff, right? So, but for me, it's like that. I became very political, and one person who's actually here today is Lucia. She knows me since high school. And so she's someone who's seen the evolution as an artist as well. If my wife was here today, she'd tell you we dated in high school, and she saw the kid who picked up a camera for the first time and wouldn't shut up about photography and politics. And the same thing, being influenced by the Zapatistas, being political and seeing all these things. The first thing I did when I got my license was come to East LA to Self-Help Graphics, where they had the exhibition of the Cuban Revolution and photos of Che Guevara. So for me, seeing all that stuff, being influenced by the photographs of the Black Panthers, of all these revolutions around the world, and then growing up looking at album covers, it was kind of a no-brainer about A Great Day in East LA and seeing all this stuff. And for me, I'm a very visual person, and I like I tell all the musicians that I work with, and I think this is one of the reasons that Los Lobos continues to work with me, is that I make it easy for people, and they're like, wait, what do you want us to do? And I said, just be yourselves. Because my job is to capture the soul of who you are, to translate that to the rest of the world so they can see who you are. We all know that there's the musician who's at home, not being the Iron Chef, but then there's the musicians that the moment that you get on stage, there's that superpower that you all see, is playing the saxophone, playing the guitar, and singing and all that stuff. So am I answering your question? I don't know. I think I'm going into a rant.
Absolutely. It seems to me that at a time when they're trying to literally, physically erase us, right?
Yeah, so
taking a photograph and putting it on a wall for people to see is in itself a political act.
100%.
Or writing a song.
100%. And that's what so the arguments that I've gotten into with certain institutions about stuff like this is that A Great Day in East LA is a project that's meant not to be safe. Because the moment that I take that photograph and I put you online for the world to see, you are making a stand and saying, this is who we are and this is where we're from. Now again, believe it or not, I'm not from East LA, but I have my East LA passport, so they let me in and out whenever I want. Cesar Mejia back there as well, another musician and artist that's in the project, tells me, stop telling that you're not from East LA. And I'm like, dude, what do you want me to tell you? He's like, just tell him you grew up on my street. And I'm like, dude, and I'm all like, just start naming Latino last names. They're like, oh yeah, I live next to the Garcias and the Mejias and all the other people. But yeah, so the reality is that I wanted this project to be that. And I'm so, believe it or not, and as crazy as it might sound, I'm so proud that this exhibition opened a week or two after the big protests happened in Placita Olvera, which were burning down Waymos and stuff like that. But it meant so much. And again, for it to be a sold out opening, that it was at capacity, and there was still a long line around the block. That's what I wanted this project to be. To me, it's influencing the next generation, for you and for everybody to be proud of. The main goal from day one was to make sure that even though I'm not from East LA, this part of town has helped me and has embraced me and made it a home for me, that I wanted to pay it back to the community and say, hey, be proud of where you come from. All these amazing artists are from here, and I want not only you, but the next generation to be proud and say, that could be me.
Absolutely. Yes. And Yolanda, it seems to me that it's like the DIY idea is still here, right? Because if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it for us, right? I'm wondering if you got of course, the punk scene had a lot of politics going on in it, right?
Yes.
When would you care to comment on what you think was going on back then and the legacy that we might even feel today about engaging politics in art?
Well, it's politics. Let me think. I'm not a politician, so. But yeah, music is such a lot of influences. All these. Thank you to the music, we can find out about the protest, about showing us how the world is coming, because all the lyrics, and especially the raps, the rappers, that they are so well, how can I say, gracias. Son articulados, very articulate, so you can understand the message very clear, and you have to listen to those, because there's a strong messages, and that's the influences that the kids and we as an adult knows what's going on in the real world, not in the news,
Right.
on the real,
Right.
They express the real.
Thank you for that. Yes, and that's definitely part of hip hop. But also, when you said that, it made me think about the way we talk about corridos in Mexico.
Yeah,
It's like corridos were the rappers of the revolution
absolutely.
120 years ago.
Also, the Italians, and the back centuries, that they went town to town to tell the tales and everything, what's happening in another town and another place, and that's the way people was able to see or to find out what was going on in other parts of the country.
Yes.
I think in Italian,
Yeah, muy bien. Bertha, how do you see all this? Do you see yourself as a political in any way, as being a Chicana musician?
Well, I have to say, when in high school, we were in the walkouts, of course. We had to, because you have to stand for what you believe, and at that time there was many injustices, and even to this day, the things that I see in the past are the things that I see in the present. We're still fighting the same fight. We're still trying to get some kind of recognition and just the respect, If we all learn to respect each other's differences, and even our similarities, but come united together, it would be good. But the thing is, so many people want to say, no, you can't do that, only I can do that. And then that's where the problems start, because I think they were all really equal. We just have to allow each other to express our equality. And some people do not want you to express your equality. And that's where the issues come, I think.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. So, David, you were around during the movimiento. The band had direct kind of like contact with people in the movimiento. One of your albums is called Si Se Puede, right? I mean, so the band has been right there in the thick of it, no?
If you want to hear about that, then if you want to hear about that, come and watch the documentary. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of bands like up and down California. They were into more of the nuevo canción or the movimiento type songs, and we wanted to play the folk music. We wanted to hear. We wanted to play jarocho. We didn't even know what it was yet, but we heard the records and we wanted to learn to play that stuff, you know, and then Huastecos and as time went on, you know, we learned more about all the different regions and different styles everywhere, all of Mexico. So that was our statement. We figured we'll play our music to whoever wants to listen to it, and take it as far as we can. So those were our politics. That's how we handled it.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that makes me think that, well, you know, La Bamba, which, you know, some people who don't know the history of La Bamba, how far back it goes, centuries, right? And the connection to Africa coming through the Puerto de Veracruz and the jarocho thing that comes out of it. I mean, this is something that is political going back centuries. It's, you know, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the story I heard was that when the Spanish came, you know, they'd see the boats coming, so they'd set up a parranda and put a party, get a party going, get the food going, get some women, get some booze, to get the Spanish all drunk, and so they just leave the town alone. They just go back to their ships and split. They'd be satisfied, you know, so they wouldn't go into town and pillage and all that. You know, that was one of the stories I heard. That's how the song came. That's why it's all improvised lyrics. You know, everybody would just take it. It would go on forever. Yeah. That's what I heard.
It's amazing how that song has been, you know, reinterpreted. Did you guys do it, Ozo?
You have to do a cover of La Bamba.
You have to. Yeah, everybody
Rite
has
of
to.
passage.
Everybody has
It's
to do
kind
it.
of like, yeah, you have to.
I didn't make as much money doing it as Dave did, but man, we all had to do it. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, we have a reggae version of it that we did.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously? That's beautiful. And of course, Las Cafeteras, more recently, as you know,
Who?
Las Cafeteras has a version of it. Tito's version. Am I remembering correctly that Tito's version said para los gringos la bomba?
No. Tiene una
No.
línea que
Soy anarquista.
ciudad capitalista, yo no soy fascista, soy anarquista. Baila la bamba.
It's even more radical than I thought.
Yeah.
And I think
That was the punk version.
after Richie, Tito was the first one to make it rock, right? Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So we could dedicate a whole, you know.
Can I just say this too about Los Lobos? So I'm spending a little over 5 years with the band. The one thing that I've always had conversations with Louis and a bunch of people is that I'm like, at first I was like, I wish you guys were like Rage Against the Machine, overly political. And then I realized, oh, you guys are. And this is the one thing that they never really bring up. It's subversively. They're going into all these places. And during the 5 years of filming the documentary, I had this shirt that I would purposely wear like in the middle of Tennessee, like super red Tennessee, and where it's literally Trump flag, Trump flag, Trump flag all the way through. And I'd be going into these bars, and my shirt would say, drink water, love hard, and fuck racism. And so all these people would like be mad dogging me, and I'm like, dude, do you not see who you're here to see? Like, they're hating my shirt, but then at the same time, there they are singing to the corridos, they're singing to La Bamba, they're doing all these things. So I'm all like, oh, I get it, what you're doing. Like, it's like you bring them in, and then it's just like, there you go, here's some culture. Here you go, here's some like, we're gonna get you with some Taco Tuesday. You know?
Very good. I think we're at time because we have, be careful
Yeah. Should we do this?
with us. So please join me in thanking our panelists today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Should we go through some of the photos really quick of what we have, or no? Should we go through some of the photos that are going to be shown and stuff? Or?
My name is Jorge Rodriguez. Los Lobos played at a concert to support the National Committee of Three Los Tres. It was a national campaign across the country, an anti-drug campaign. They played, I don't know if you remember this. Anyway, I got Conrad. We were at ELAC. But anyway, David and the Lobos played at a fundraiser when we needed money to keep that fight up. So we're building.
Thank you. Yeah.
We're building a national campaign, so we needed funds. They helped us. They played at a fundraiser for CASA at the International Institute in Wall Heights.
And they still do
Right
stuff
on.
like that. They still do stuff like that, and they don't. They're humble. No. I'm telling everybody. I'm telling everybody. Yeah.
That's important to mention because they have the soul of the fighters of our people through their work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That's what you do, you know?
So, wait, am I going the right way? Hold on. Is it going? There you go. Wow. There you go.
For the update, John.
We could celebrate the colonizer for one day. There you go. Penalties? Oh, okay. So,
Turn the TV back on.
all right. So I just want to show you some stuff really quick because they asked to some highlights from the exhibition. And when you walk into the exhibition, this is the front wall. If I forced the museum to do anything, was to make this wall, because we all know, as if you're Chicano and our people, there's always that one person. It's like, hey man, I was only allowed to put 45 photos inside the exhibition, and I had to make this wall, which has all 170 portraits. Because there's always that one guy that says, hey man, why am I not in the exhibition? I have to be like, no, come here, look. You're right there, you're all the way at the top. And so we did that. When you walk into the exhibition, the first room that you see is the venue. It was supposed to be the garage, but then logistics and all that stuff, but because the womb of every band is inside of a garage. But then I have to change the narrative now and just say that it's the womb of every band is the stage. So it's like where you sharpen your teeth and become the people that you are today. And then we have stuff. Oh, let me go back. The zoot suit outfit, that is Brenton Wood's original zoot suit that he's worn. And his portrait that I have of him, that is the photograph. I mean, that's the zoot suit he's wearing in that photograph. And I got the family to loan it to me. Willie G, his suit from the Midnighters. The guitar all the way at the bottom is Chan Romero, if you know the song Hippie Hippie Shake. To this day, the Beatles covered it when they were in the caverns, caverns. They cover his song, and then to this day, Paul McCartney still covers Hippie Hippie Shake. And then we have Lupita Infante's dress as well. Even though she's not from East LA, she's part of the scene as well. So this project isn't only about the people from East LA, it's about everybody who comes in, because you can't create a movement without the support from everybody around. That photograph is from the Hollywood Bowl that I took many, many years ago. But we have Maya Jupiter's dress. We have Maceo Hernandez's taiko drum from East LA Taiko, which Fredo was part of as well. The red guitar is the Black Eyed Peas guitar. Unfortunately, there was a burglary at the museum and that got stolen. It's a $50,000 guitar, but it's okay. And what is it? I ended up securing the Black Eyed Peas Super Bowl outfits, and it never made it in, but next time. This is one of my favorite rooms, Radio Rebelde. Thanks to Mark, there's the shirt that's open right in the middle. Who knows the band Redbone here? Okay, Redbone, come and get your love. That shirt, besides concerts and 2 or 3 press photos, that is the only time it's ever been seen, and this is the first time it's ever been on display. There's the El Chicano sweater. It's a 1 of 1 that has Mickey Lesbron's name on it. The KPFK, who knows the radio station KPFK? That is at the bottom. That is the original mixing board from KPFK. I'm going to skip a little bit, so I'm going to give. Do I have to tell you what room this is? The major photograph, that's one of the outtakes from the Native Sons album cover that I worked on with the band. That is the original drum head from 1986, 7? Okay. The little guitar case is one of my favorite things in there because that's where they used to hide the booze when they would go to shows. The T-shirt that's on there.
Yeah, the accordion case, yeah. It fits a 12-pack.
Oh yeah, and we have a tequila bottle right there just to do that. The T-shirt, Gary Ibanez. Gary was like roadie, manager, a little bit.
He's just a good friend. We've known he's my compadre, but he had when we started switching over doing when I got the accordion and we started doing more rock and roll kind of stuff. He offered his garage. He says, you just had a little PA in there, and he recorded everything. He recorded all the rehearsals. He's got everything. And he just said he took interest and he helped us out a lot, the early days.
So that T-shirt, Gary told me.
He's still around too.
Yes, he is. Gary told me that T-shirt that he got him made, and he puts it on that like inflatable mannequin, and he blows it up, and he's like, it hasn't been disinflated since 1986 or something like that. So that's the original Breath Air, and everybody I give the tour to, they're like, oh my God, what? And I said, yeah. They're like, why is it still inflated? And I said, it's called alcohol. When you drink so much and you blood, it stays. But that's Louis' first guitar, and then your first mandola as well, right?
Yeah, mandola.
Yeah.
Mandola, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm going to switch over. We have the original lyrics to A Matter of Time, Chico and the Lavender Moon. Let me see if I can find it. There you go. How Will the Wolves Survive? That I ended, because of the documentary, I ended up finding the National Geographic's article that was inspired, or that they were inspired by, to write Will the Wolf Survive. The yellow booklet right there is the second draft to La Bamba, the movie. And okay, and then I'm gonna just show you some more. Fredo Ortiz's Beastie Boys outfit is there. The red poster is the first time Chicano band ever played Carnegie Hall, Los Lobos being the second one. That's Tierra with Mongo Santa Maria. The Premier's jacket. Come on. Then hold on. That's the Rockero room where we have covers. Fan-made poster. Lalo Guerrero's zoot suit, one of the last ones he wore before he passed away, with his guitar, and there's a menu from his nightclub. Poncho Sanchez's congas as well. Tierra playing, opening up for Chuck Berry. What else? Los Lobos opening up for Flaco Jimenez. I think this is the time that you guys cold called him and said, "Hey, we'll play for free."
Yeah, I called her. I said, "We'll play for free." I want to play with Flaco,
So I got Flaco Jimenez to sign it for me, and then at McCabe's, yeah. And then Fredo's drumhead. This one's not in the exhibition, but I wanted to show it. 50 years later, and then there you go from that one right there. Your accordion. That he forgot his accordion somewhere, and he asked the shop, and they just gave it to him. So to be a rock star, bro, be a rock star and get free stuff, right? Yeah. This is the original neon sign from Embrace the Chaos music video. We refurbished it, and after the exhibition, I believe it's going to the Neon Museum.
Respect for the person who wrote "fuck LAPD" right there on the sign.
Bertha, I put this under because I wanted you to tell the story, but we're out of time. Is that you actually sang with Rosie Hamlin from Rosie and the Originals? Yes. And so that's what that is. That's original press. The Pee Wee Herman album. This is it. There you go. It's very rare and good luck. You can't find it anywhere. I'm getting yeah, Yolanda. Yeah. There you go. And then the movies that Bertha's been on with the Zootsu as well. There she is. There you go. Los Lobos, a version of Los Lobos, where they were mariachis. There he is, Zach de la Rocha, Rage Against the Machine. I'm just going to go really quickly through all these, and I don't have to name the bands, but, there you are. The Black Eyed Peas, very Be Careful, wherever you guys are at back there. Hello. Legal Interns. Aston Underground, Poncho Sanchez. She's not from East LA, but she said it in her documentary that if it wasn't for Los Lobos, Linda Ronstadt would have never made Canciones de Mi Padre. Maya Jupiter, Olin. Closing Sorry, oh, then I'll just add this because I didn't say it earlier. But I want to thank everybody here, everybody on this stage, because you've all influenced me in one way or another, musically, politically, and just as a human being in general. If it wasn't for Ozomatli and Los Lobos, being the Mexican Italian Chicano that I am, when I was a musician, you guys made it okay for me to be myself, because I grew up in a part of town where if I was too Mexican for the white kids, and I was too white for the Latino kids. So you guys made it okay to be the metalhead who wants to mix traditional music in the places where my family are from Mexico and Italy.
Hit us with some Maiden, man.
What was that?
You know any Maiden?
What was that?
Maiden? You know any Maiden?
Oh, Iron Maiden, yeah.
The trooper, homie.
You're a trooper.
Give it up for Piero, who started this project. And for Uli, Yolanda, Bertha, and David for the conversation.
Big round of
and to you
applause
guys
for
being
everybody.
here. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna have a quick intermission, and then a band, Very Be Careful, is gonna be out. Also, check your wristband. If you have a star, we do have an album that Yolanda gave. So if you have a star on your wristband, come meet us out in the lobby, and you'll get this free album. All right, thank you so much.
Get mic check.
What's up, party people? How's everybody
Microphone
feeling
check.
today?
Mic check.
Whoa,
Mic check.
that's really bright. Anyway, real quickly, you know, the library, 100 years, that's really dope. And books are very important to people that are in my age group. I like the science fiction. You guys like science fiction? Yeah. Well, it's all coming true now. So, yeah, I just wanted to do a shout out to books and the incredible They predicted a lot of things that was going to happen in the future, which is happening now. So, it's yeah, exactly. So, props to the library. I just graduated today, and. Yeah, I graduated from science fiction.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah, what's up?
Take a look.
We got Reading Rainbow in the background. 321 Contact over here.
Take a look.
So we got
It's in the
limited
book.
time, but shout out to Fidel right there. What's up, bro? This one's for you, bro. And you know, you don't have to stay seated. That would be cool if you didn't. If you can stand, check it out. Come on, Carmelo. What the hell, dude? Oh, okay.
He's working on it.
Still calling the shots. Yo cargo un duende que me persigue. Yo cargo un duende que me persigue. Ese no duerme, quiere decirme. Ese no duerme, quiere decirme. Yo cargo un duende, duende maligno. Yo cargo un duende, duende maligno. Ese no duerme, ni me da camino. Ese no duerme, ni me da camino. Carmelo. ese no duerme por mi acordeón, ese no duerme por mi acordeón. Yo cargo un duende, duende maleante, yo cargo un duende, duende maleante, ese no duerme, quiere que le canse, ese no duerme, quiere que le canse. Okay, I would like more. Thank you very much, everyone. Carmela, what happened? Could you turn this up here so I can hear myself better? Because I can't. And then the accordion as well. And then also the bass. I can't hear it either. But my ears are bad, so it's my fault.
They look
Is that
good,
cool?
though.
Yeah, they look cool. It's post-graduation look.
Cool ears.
More would be great. More would be great. Feel. Whoa. Yeah. Exactly. Listen to Fidel.
Are these on at all?
Oh, yeah. Maybe more here. I don't know. It's like funny in here. So more like this one here, please. Sir. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that. See, if everything sounded like this, that'd be dope. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's interesting. As long as Carmelo gets up soon, it's gonna be fine. So what's up, dude? You didn't like the first one? How about this one? Esta noche estoy de tunas, esta noche estoy de tunas y mañana de tunante. Olera, lera, le, Carmelita Dios. Olera, lera, le, Carmelita Dios. Arturo. Las noches de baditunas y la hago por delante. Olérale, Carmelita Dios. Olérale, Carmelita Dios. Vamos. What's up, Glenn? Tú fuiste la que pusiste tu mano sobre la mía. Olera, lera, le, Carmelita Dios. Lera, lera, le, Carmelita Dios. Come on, Carmelo. El hombre que sea muy tonto, el hombre que sea muy tonto, no goza mujer bonita. Olera, lera, le, Carmelita Dios. Olera, lera, le, Carmelita Dios. Vamos. Thank you, Carmelo. Appreciate that. Is there anybody else? Hey, man. Come on. We grew up together.
Can we get a little on the monitors here, please?
Yeah, I would like more voice in the monitor. I know it sounds like I think my ear's bad, but if it could be louder, the voice and the accordion and the bass and this guy, that'd be great.
We refuse to grow up together.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Just for the better good, you know? Cool. Thanks. Got it? On two. Man, anybody have a cubeta available? No? That would be cool.
A cubeta of books.
Wow, who's that? Sorry. She sits there. Hacer hoy, eso decía mi madre cuando yo primero de año es el primero mes y primero de mes el primero de año. Así con todas esas mañas, te vas a ver que el tiempo está pasando y cuando el tiempo te sigue pasando y tú sigues soñando. decía mi madre cuando yo, primero de mes es primero de año, y primero de año, primero de mes. All right. How about a cubeta? What is it? DoorDash or Deer Dash? Don Dash? They come in a little cart, right? This guy's got one. You got a cubeta on you? No? Oh, you already had the cubeta. Nice. How about? Sure. I was going to say, mejorar. Let's go big. All right, cool. How's everybody feeling today? You guys are the quiet type.
The library.
It's the library. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm talking too loud.
Let's keep it low.
My bad.
Trying to read here.
Yeah.
Trying to read the audience.
Yo pensé que un mejorar podía curarme este gran dolor. Yo pensé que un mejorar podía curarme este gran dolor, pero ¿qué me va a curar si es una pena de amor? Pero ¿qué me va a curar si es una pena de amor? Pero ¿qué me va a curar si es una pena de amor? Yo me voy para Venezuela, decepcionado de Valledupar. Yo me voy para Venezuela, decepcionado de Valledupar. Como si la ausencia fuera remedio para olvidar. Como si la ausencia fuera remedio para olvidar. Como si la ausencia fuera remedio para olvidar. Mala suerte. No me vuelvo a enamorar, soy convencido que es mala suerte. Yo sé que un amor sincero puede causar una muerte. Yo sé que un amor sincero puede causar una muerte. Yo sé que un amor sincero puede causar una muerte. De mujeres tengo una ley muy bien comprendida. En asunto de mujeres tengo una ley muy bien aprendida. Yo quiero a la que me quiere, yo olvido a la que me olvida. Yo quiero a la que me quiere, yo olvido a la que me olvida. Yo quiero a la que me quiere, yo olvido a la que me olvida.
Mosquito. Gracias. Mosquito.
All right. Getting warmed up for the big dance party, right, guys? Yeah. It shows up in books. They're already standing. That's cool. This guy's having a great time back there with his cubeta. Yeah. Come on, bro. Let's party.
With books.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for being here. The 100th anniversary of the Central Library. My graduation party.
Yeah.
I finally learned how to read.
There we go.
Wasn't easy. Cuando se va el frío, abajo del agua él quiso nacer. Pasa por mi oído cuando estoy dormido. No puedo aguantarlo, me estoy desvelando. No puedo aguantarlo, me estoy desvelando. Se esconde en el oscuro, él sigue volando hasta que me canso. Él trata de nuevo morderme otra vez. No puedo aguantarlo, me estoy desvelando. No puedo aguantarlo, me estoy desvelando. la gota, llegaron los gavilanes a los reyes de la gota, porque todos los bailes, la cumbia y la gota, porque todos los bailes, la cumbia y la gota. On the Huacharaca, El Grey. On the campana, the DJ from TJ, Dante Ruiz. On the bass, Arturo El Duro.
Peace and Justice Center.
Woo! On the caja, Clinton. Getting warm in here. Estamos for the Fidel.
And Godzilla.
Mr. Soundman, dream me a dream. Could I have more a vocal and accordion in the monitor? I know it's a basic question, sorry. So everybody's doing cool? Cool. Just a little more, yeah, that I can hear myself. Then I could play better if I could, yeah. Yeah, oh, word, nice. Yeah, hearing's not that good. Did the Dodgers win?
Slow your roll. Slow your roll. Some people, they tape it or they watch it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wondering. It was an innocent question. What Dodgers?
It happens. Whoa.
Stick to the plan.
Okay, who won the World Cup? How about that?
Slow your roll. FIFA won the World Cup.
Hey, man, libraries are about asking questions. You're like, what does this word mean? It's the, and then they're like, that's a thesaurus.
Check the encyclopedia.
Read the dictionary. Faster than me. Pueblo, si tú quieres ir conmigo, si da frío yo te abrazo, no te olvides del besito. No se olvide del vas, no se olvide del besito. Go, Carmelo. All right, we're going to start now. So this is going to be our first song. That was a nice, yeah, it was a nice sound. I mean, I don't call it that, but I've read it in books. That's for sure. Are you drunk? Oh, what is this? It's a cubeta. Nice.
You gotta open it.
What do I do with this?
Read it.
Read the instructions.
In the library, bro.
I'm not good at this, man. Don't gang up on me.
Open.
Oh, yeah.
It's from IKEA.
What is this?
It's the good stuff.
Vodka. All right. I'll go vodka. All right. DJ start in 2 hours and a half. So we're gonna play 2 hours and a half right now. Start with our first song. Let's see what happens. Thank you. Fidel, where are you, dude? Oh, okay. Wow, he's sneaky. Your voice is changing, bro.
It's the acoustics.
Time to change.
Is it
Rearrange.
Russian?
Yeah, I guess. Pero en la fiesta de Rusia, poquito quedando buena. Pero en la fiesta de Rusia, poquito quedando buena. Pero le salió maluca, porque se quemó la piel. Pero una mentada luca, porque te quitó candela. Se quemaron dos gitanos, se rumoran por la calle. Se quemaron dos gitanos, se rumoran por la calle. Lo sabía Alejandro, fíjate quién no sabe. Todo lo sabía Alejandro, fíjate quién no sabe. No nada más imanes, los imanes es lo dice. Si lo más son más insanes, los imanes se lo dice. Todita las mujeres les avisa mi acordeón. Y todita las mujeres les avisa mi acordeón. Si pasaje no tiene, búscame que yo le doy. Si pasaje no tiene, búscame que yo le doy. really getting somewhere here. Sir, could I have more accordion in the monitor for just for me and a little more bass? Yes. Two more. Okay, we're gonna start. We're gonna do 2 more songs, then we're gonna start. And the DJ is 9:30 till 4 a.m. You can read a book in that time.
Thank you, Piero, for the photograph and including us in the show, and Mark and Jorge Leal, and La Plaza for hosting it. Thanks for having our picture in an epic show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for having us. Really appreciate your enthusiasm. Where's Carmelo? He left already? Damn. He probably went to the store. Okay.
You want to get those? Nobody's home.
What is it?
What? Pasando en una casa grande, allá donde yo vivía, había una señorita que a mí siempre me decía. Niña bonita, tenga cuidado. Niña bonita, niña bonita, niña bonita, tenga cuidado. Vas a ir al mercado y vas por el caminito, no vayas a dar besito, ahí puedes tropezar, de pronto puedes caer, consecuencia va a tener. Niña bonita, tenga cuidado. Niña bonita, niña bonita, niña bonita, tenga cuidado. Se encontró una medallita. El niño sale a la calle, se encontró una medallita. Dije al padre, Chico le dijo al madre con mucha disciplina, llenado de alegría. Chico tengo un gato, no me llevaría. ¡Ay! 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 El niño sale a la calle, se encontró una medallita. El niño contento regresa a su casa, alegre y sonriente, le dice a su mamita: madre, mira lo que me encontré. Mira lo que me encontré. Todo el mundo. Mira lo que me encontré. 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 Solo pa' mí se llevó su medallita. El niño solo pa' mí se llevó su medallita. Y yo le digo a padre con mucha disciplina, llenado de alegría, yo tengo que la imagen de la Virgen María. Le digo al padre con mucha disciplina, llenado de alegría, yo tengo que la imagen de la Virgen María. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! El niño solo en la calle se encontró una medallita. Contento regresa a su casa, alegre y sonriente. Le dice a su mamita, madre, mira lo que me encontré. Mira lo que me encontré. Mira lo que me encontré. Todo el mundo. Mira lo que me encontré. Mira lo que me encontré. Todo el mundo. Mira lo que me encontré. One more? No more. No more or one more?
One more.
Una más.
One more. Oh,
Okay. Borracho.
The books want one more.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What's it made? We don't have any bad ones.
What are you doing later?
Reading.
Reading, huh? Take me to the Redwood. I used to work there. We can read. Got it? All right.
Yes.
Nobody has that part, remember.
Yeah, just cut it up right there. Que soy un borracho, pero yo camino yo de lado a lado. Yo camino de lado a lado porque soy un borracho. La gente me critica que no debe comer más, pero no es que no entiendes cómo la vida a mí es más. tomo 3 cervezas porque dejo al revés. Yo miro a este mundo de una manera que no sabes, pero de esa manera que yo sé yo caminar. All right, one more or what? Yeah. One more, sir? Oh, this guy with the badge is saying no. Oh no.
Yay.
Take the badge off and say yes.
All the books are due.
We'll do one more. Yeah, Mr. Badge.
Okay, but it's got to be fast.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, they gotta pay me more.
How about these fras?
I want an extension of my library books.
No return policy.
Yeah, no return policy. I already took it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your enthusiasm here at the Central Library in Los Angeles. 100 years, dog. Can't do that in one day.
Well,
I mean, yeah. How's it going? Another one.
The other one.
okay, time's up.
No.
Graduation's over.
Sorry, I didn't practice this morning, but I practiced last night. Yeah. Thanks, sir, for the one option. Appreciate it. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking. Give me a face, any face.
Come on, let's get to the next
De ladito a la fiesta yo llegué y como estaba solita a ti lado me senté. De ladito a la fiesta yo llegué y como estaba solita a tu lado me senté. contigo yo me quedé. De ladito, al fin yo me enamoré. De ladito, al fin yo me enamoré. Thanks very much. Very be careful. From Los Angeles. Thank you to the library for having us and your incredible enthusiasm. Really appreciate it.
See you tomorrow night at the Blipsy.
See you tonight at Blipsy. Tonight, too. Yeah, tomorrow at Blipsy. Check it out.